Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received, and the translation of that message, it reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Please post my story as hidden identity. I am a man that comes from Zim, and I have my confession that I want to share with you. If it is possible, please share it on your channel. Brother, I am writing this as I am staying here in Rwanda. Recently, my bosses, they put Wi-Fi so that we can communicate with them because they are Zimbabweans as well, but they are staying in the United Kingdom. So they always want to know what is the situation here, because I am looking after their pigs and I am looking after their cows. So we are supposed to be in communication at all the times. But my story that I am sharing with you, it happened when I was there in South Africa. Brother Nashi, my real name is Thinkwell. I need help so that when people pray, they will pray knowing that Thinkwell is his real name. So here in this village, people, they do not even know that Thinkwell is a criminal that is being looked for in South Africa. They just see me as a quiet man and an honest man who is working very hard, looking after the livestock of the family that is living in the United Kingdom. The people that I am working for, they are related to the village headman. But there are things that I did in South Africa that is making my life to become a living hell. I am scared to return back to South Africa to get this issue sorted out. I left Zimbabwe many years ago looking for a good life in South Africa. We just heard about Joburg. You can make money in Joburg, you can become rich. But I did not even know that in Joburg things are very hard. It is not everyone that becomes rich in Joburg, especially if you are an illegal migrant, you don't have any documents. Joburg showed me the rough lifestyle. When I arrived in Joburg, I started working for this other man, a South African man who owned a company, a construction company. This man, he was someone that was very nice to people, especially that are Zimbabweans, but he was nice to Zimbabweans for a reason. What he will do, this man, is that when he wants you to work for him, he will treat you so nice. But when it is time for you to get paid, that is when he will show you the other side. He had his own brother who was a police officer. These men, they will come and they would raid at the house where you would be busy building the house, renovating the house, and this would only happen when you were supposed to get paid. So when I saw that Joburg is rough like this, I said, I'm not going to waste my time working in the construction anymore. I'm going to become a criminal. So I chose to become a criminal. Because I was staying in the hostels, it became so easy for me to find a gang. I found a South African gang, but they also had people that were from Zim. Most of the people, they were Shona. And they taught me there is one thing that we call chadona. In our country, most people, they know it, but in South Africa, they do not know it. For someone who does not know what chadona is, it's like, for those who don't know, it is a game of greed. We make sure that we use your greed against you. Picture this, you are walking in hell, bro. Then we drop a thick bundle of cash wrapped in real 100 Rand notes, but inside there will be newspapers. So when we drop that money, like someone will be walking in front of you, a woman, usually a woman, an elderly woman, sometimes these women, they'll be having a ZCC badge so that you can quickly believe that this person has lost their money for real. So after that person would have dropped the money, because you are greedy, instead of telling that person that, look, there is money, or just ignoring, because this is Joburg, you are supposed to ignore. Even if you see a fish flying in Joburg, you are not supposed to act as if you are surprised. just walk and ignore that fish, because that fish can end up robbing you. So to those that are greedy or those that do not know Joburg for real, when we drop that money in front of that person, the person will pick it up, and then we would jump out, or we would be walking behind that person and say, ah, my brother, we saw it too. Let's go and share it in private, so that the police and that person who dropped the money does not see us. When you agree, then you are done for. We would lead you into a dark alley far from the crowds. Once we are inside a dark place, then we turn that sharing into an armed robbery. We take out our okapis, fake guns, then we take your phone, your real money, everything. So this was what we were doing in Hillbrow. I had a South African girlfriend who loved money more than the way that she loved me. So she was forcing me, instead of investing, because my other Zimbabwean brothers that I was working with, robbing people, those guys, they ended up buying even trucks. But as for me, I was unable to invest because my South African girlfriend, she loved money. If I would return back with no money, then she will act somehow. You could not even understand if she wanted to be with you or not. So I was unable to make a lot of investments because of him. I could have bought a lot of livestock in our village, and by now I could have become someone that has his own properties. So what she used to say to me was like, you know what, think well, these small robberies of stealing phones and you selling the phones to the Nigerians, they are for small boys. I'm tired of staying with a man who is bringing money that can't do the things that I want. I want you to join this other gang that she had heard about, of these other boys. What they would do is that they would enter into people's homes and they would steal money, steal items. This was like house robberies. So I went and I joined that gang. And when I went to join that gang, that was when we were told that there was this other Sangoma. This Sangoma was living in a suburb, but these suburbs where he was staying at, it was not like a suburb where it was safe, because anyone could walk around and a lot of stuff was stolen in those suburbs. It was a nice, quiet place, but it was dangerous. So these men, you used to consult in the locations. So those that had the information, they had gone to consult with him and they knew how much was his consultation fee. Whenever you would consult with someone, they would count that today he has consulted with 4 people, today he has consulted with 5 people. So this meant that he has so much money. We then managed to get information, more information from the maid. When we got information from the maid that this man, he was not banking his money in the bank and he was keeping his money in his house. So then that was when we decided to go and rob him. These guys, they had already decided to rob him anyway. It is just that I got involved in that gang when they were making preparations to go and rob him. So that is why I ended up being part of that robbery. So when we got to the house, like we had been told by the maid that this man kept money in buckets of cash that he would have gotten from his clients. We went in at night, we were armed, fake guns, but we had a real pistol that we had. And we took money, we took phones, laptops, TVs. We even went with a quantum taxi there to load the stuff that we were going to rob from his house. And we found cash, which was 75K, and it was a fortune because from that cash, including the items that we later sold, that we stole, I managed to get my own commission of 12,500. So for me, it was a lot of money in that year of 2010. So I did not wait for the sun to rise. I took my share, ran from the hostel. I even ran away from my South African girlfriend. I did not give her a single cent. I left and I ran back to Zim. I thought that I had escaped. When I returned back to Zim, I started dating a woman who became my wife. I did not do anything much with that money because I had to inform my wife's parents that I was the one that was now staying with him. So I was supposed to go there with some money, in which I did. I went and I paid part of the bride price, and they gave me the list of the money that they wanted from me. Ever since that time, I've not yet returned back to them to pay off the balance that is still remaining. I was now an honest man. I am now an honest man. Even if I find someone that would have left his or her money somewhere, I do not even take it and steal it and go and use it. There was a time when I was traveling from Blawayo on a bus. There was an elderly woman who forgot a Samsung phone, and I did not steal it. I just told the conductor that the woman that they had dropped off had forgotten a phone on the seat, and they called him and she sent someone to come and fetch it, and she said to me, "May God bless you." But when I was in South Africa, I was a hunter. I was stealing like no man's business. So what happened is that when I left South Africa, when I came back to Zim, I started to suffer from chronic pain. I have been to different clinics. I am a poor man. I can't afford to go to the private doctors. So the condition that I am suffering from, I am always feeling pain in my joints, in my bones. I feel a lot of pain. And brother, when I start to feel this pain, the first time when I woke up and I felt pain in my joints, I had a dream. I was fast asleep, and then I saw a rat that came from South Africa. This rat was dark in color, and it was smoking as if it had came out of a fire, the way that it was smoking, but it was not burning. It then entered into my body through my nails on my toes. And then when it entered into my body, it started to bite me inside of my joints. I woke up screaming and I was in pain, and I saw that there was blood that was on my toe where I had a dream, and I had seen that rat coming into my body, and I felt sharp pain as this rat kept on biting me into the joints. This has been happening ever since that year. I have been to different Sangomas, and the Sangomas, they are just giving me some African herbal medication to stop the pain. So whenever this biting starts, my knees, my elbows, my ankles, I feel this sharp pain. I can still work, but there is this uncomfortable pain as if there is something that is eating at my joints. I have gone to an elder here in Gwanda, but in another village. When I went to that Sangoma, I was then told that I stole something from a Sangoma in South Africa, and that man, he walked around his yard and he picked up soil from the place where he saw our footprints the next day, and he went with the soil to the grave and he did his South African rituals there. And I was told that I am supposed to return back to South Africa to find that man and to ask for him for forgiveness. But I am scared, Brother Nashi, and the money as well is not there for me to return back to South Africa, because the salary that I am making, it is just little. Every month I have to buy food with that salary because I have kids, Brother Nashi, that I need to take care of, as well as my wife that I also need to take care of. So when I heard this, I managed to trace one of my friend. I traveled from Rwanda to Blawayo. where I met him, he was still doing some pickpocketing in Blawayo, stealing from people, those that would have came from the villages and those that do not know the CBD very well in Blawayo. So when I saw him, after tracking him down, I then told him about the pains that I was feeling, and he told me that he thought that he had arthritis because he always feels this joint pain, and he has been to different doctors by then. So we went back to the Sangoma together, and the Sangoma told us the same story. So this friend of mine, he went back to Josim, it was last year, to go and speak with that Sangoma. I was preparing, saying that if this Sangoma forgives him and he gets cured, then I can try to see how many goats I can sell and I can go to South Africa. But what I heard from my other friends, because I could not communicate with this friend of mine, little did I know that he had been arrested. When he went to that traditional healer's house, the man then called the police, and my friend was arrested for that 2020 robbery. He is in a South African prison right now. I got the information from Blawayo, from one of the guy who was now staying with him in Blawayo. So now I am trapped. I am scared, Brother Nation. I have a wife and I have two sons. I am their rock. I am their foundation. If I go to South Africa, if I get arrested, then it means that they are going to suffer. I am asking the people, any lawyer, can I get some type of immunity, since this has something to do with Tokoloshes? If I confess my sins to the police, can they let me go? Now that I have been living a long time not being a criminal, I am a changed man. I am living an honest life now. I am looking after the UK family's cattle. I don't steal from them. I have not stolen a single cent ever since that year when I returned back to Zim. Does the law care about someone who is no longer stealing? I am terrified. I'm scared that I can die because of this rat that is always eating at my joints, or I will become a crippled. If I go to South Africa, what if that man end up calling the police? Then he gets me arrested. I regret taking that portion of my commission. I should have never done such a thing. I need help. If there is anyone who prays, remember me in your prayers. My real name is Thinkwell. I am staying in Gwanda. I used to be a thief in South Africa. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to us by one of our dear brother. He is saying, if I return back to South Africa, will this man press charges against me if I come to beg for forgiveness? Because this is the only way that I can get cured. Let us try to speak with our dear brother in the comment section. He's saying that he is looking for a pastor who can pray for him, a pastor that can make this pain to go away. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. Let us talk about this in the comment section. Thank you very much for watching. I kindly ask you to comment as well as to like on this video so that we can help Anonymous in the comment section.